So thanks so much again, everyone, and welcome alums. I'm Lisa Vecsey, the Director of Alumni Engagement at Brooklyn College, and I'm just so happy to have everyone here. I want to introduce our moderator, Daniel Lugo. Lugo graduated in 2001. He works as a DGA First Assistant Director. His first 80 credits include A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, the indie feature Adam, the soon-to-be-released The Evening Hour, starring Lily Taylor, and the upcoming season of Bonding on Netflix. Something about Bonding you should all know, it actually premieres tomorrow. So definitely check that out. Additionally, Lugo is the president of the Brooklyn College Film Alumni Association. So that group is actually the one who put this whole thing together. So I'm really excited to be working with him. And Lugo, I am gonna just stop talking and mute myself and let you take over if that's okay.
Thank you, Lisa. So before we get started, I just kind of want to make sure that everybody knows. So yes, I am the president of the Brooklyn College Film Department Alumni Association. And just so that we kind of put this thing together for kind of two reasons. One was, to give alumni opportunities to sort of give back to the current student body, right? So we've been organizing workshops and screenings, giving opportunity to alumni to come back and kind of, go through and kind of teach the students kind of their journey into becoming professional filmmakers. And then the second part of it is to sort of build a camaraderie among the actual alumni body and to get to know one another so that we can, maybe work in the future together or just to get to know one another and know that there are actual working professional filmmakers that went to Brooklyn College that are out there doing it. So with that, talking with Joseph Vecsey. What's up, Joe? How you doing?
How are you, man?
I'm good. I am not going to go through your list of credits because we'll go through that through the next hour or so.
Yeah. I love how nobody's camera's really on, man. This is uncomfortable. Everyone's staring at me, but I can't see them. That's really, that's it's not fair, but I'm taking it.
I will go through all of the things that you've kind of accomplished in your career thus far. You are a stand-up comedian, an actor, a writer, a director, a producer, an editor.
Oh boy.
You're also a podcaster.
Yeah.
A recording artist.
No, that's incorrect.
No? You have a comedy album. Did you not make
I have a comedy album, but I would not call myself a recording artist.
You also have done some songs.
I did, but again, if they're funny songs, I would not ever dare call myself a recording artist. That would be an insult to anyone who is musically knows how to do anything music-wise.
So you won't be playing any songs for us, is what you're saying?
No, definitely not.
There goes my questions. And you're also the host of the Bay Street All-Star Comedy Show?
Right, yes, that's in the Hamptons, yeah. Obviously not happening right now, but was happening. Yeah.
So that's quite a lot, man.
It's a hefty amount. You made it sound even better than it is.
We'll go through that. So I want to kind of start at the beginning. So Joseph and I, just so you know, as we go along in our conversation, I met Joe on a movie called Top 5, right? Directed by Chris Rock. I was the key PA and Joseph was our must-hire production assistant. And when we get to that part of your journey, we'll talk more about the Top 5 experience.
Sure.
But I just want to kind of know just your background, like where you grew up and kind of how you found Brooklyn College.
I grew up in New York City, in Manhattan, and then I went to school in Queens, Archbishop Malloy, and then I went to Florida for a basketball scholarship in Fort Lauderdale, and then my coach turned out to be pretty crazy. And so I couldn't really deal with that and that whole thing. So I decided to then leave the college, and I was looking to get into film, and I somehow stumbled across Brooklyn College. I don't even remember how, to be honest. No one recommended me to there. I didn't know anyone who went there. And then I moved back. I was trying to go to film school in Florida, but it was too expensive because I was going to be technically considered out of state. So
Yeah.
that's another reason I came back to Brooklyn College, because it was, a little bit lower than norm. And I was then totally surprised at how amazing it was. I didn't really know what to expect.
It's so funny that everybody has that same story about finding college and the same experience,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know. It's so weird, but it was.
Now, for me, it probably was about a 5.5 year experience at Brooklyn College. How long did it take you to actually graduate?
I think 5 years too. I took a semester off because I was still. I don't know how many people on this call remember the N1 mixtape tour and street basketball. But I was playing street basketball at the time and getting paid for it here and there. So I would do a little bit of that during Brooklyn College. So I remember taking a semester off. And so that's why it took me 5 years to do it. But yeah, so I was about the same time as you.
Yeah. I went part-time too, towards the end when I was editing my film.
Yeah.
Um,
People's reactions, by the way, are really great. Facial reactions are awesome.
yeah.
Looking at headshots right now.
I know.
People should just put up their resumes.
So, how many? So, tell me about your experience at the college. I do remember one story you told me about how you used to go do stand-up comedy. Is this right? Am I remembering correctly? You used to do stand-up while you were at the college?
Oh wow, that's a good. I'm impressed that you remember that. That's true. I would be editing in the Brooklyn College lab, and I would be editing a video I shot or something like that, and then I would leave my drives there. I don't even know why I left it hooked up and stuff. Maybe I didn't want to carry it, but I would leave it there, and I guess I just trusted it, or there would be someone I knew that was around, sitting next to me, and they would watch it, and I would get on the bus and I would go do stand up in Brooklyn and then come back. That was the amazing thing though about Brooklyn College is the lab would be open to 2 a.m. sometimes. So I would be there editing until 2 a.m. Sometimes I feel like it was even later. I don't remember if it was, am I wrong? Was it not super late?
I mean, I used to stay there at all hours. I used to just sneak in and then try to stay in and try to be quiet when security passed by.
Yeah, so I did used to go.
I never left. So.
I did used to go stand up during that. I mean, by the way, I love that editing lab so much that no lies, not exaggeration. When graduation was going on side of the campus, I was editing. I didn't go to the graduation.
What?
Yeah, I did not go. I was because I was happy to graduate. It obviously meant a lot to me, but I wanted to get my video done. And I was like, do I want to edit or do I want to just kind of stand in the hot and I was just like, so I was literally before graduating on the other side of campus and I was editing. So
did they do this? I guess you don't even know if they did because I sat in my, the ceremony, but only it was ask us to stand and it wasn't a thing we went up and got our thing.
Right. You're right. I wasn't going to say that. I heard that. So that was even more reason I said, I'm going to get this sketch done.
So when did you start doing stand-up? When did that kind of come into your life?
I think my first year at Brooklyn College. So I was maybe 20 or something at the time, maybe maybe 19 or 20. I started doing stand-up. I didn't think I was going to do it. Never thought I'd do stand-up in a million years, but my friend talked me into doing an open mic and that's how it started. I never intended in doing it ever.
Yeah. But then it became
the open mic went okay. It was in front of 10 people. I thought I did so well the first time I was going to be on Letterman the next week. And that was definitely not the case. And, but it went well enough back then for me to keep doing it. But I never expected it. But I just started going to open mics, doing these small bar shows, and it just kind of built from there. But I had no idea what I was doing, I didn't know any road or something like that.
Yeah. And then what did you do after you graduated? So you have your degree in film production, right? Is that what you got it in, or?
No, I got it in screenwriting.
Screenwriting, okay.
Yeah, screenwriting, and then when I graduated, my first film job, I guess. I think like legit film job was a PA on Grown Ups too.
Now, how did you get that? Like, how did you finagle? Like, usually, like for me, I started PAing on a movie called, I can't even remember the name of the movie is. I don't think anybody's ever seen it. But you somehow get onto Grown Ups. How does
I mean, there were other people though there too who were just starting out. I don't know if it was their first movie or not, but there was a lot of young people there. I remember, but I got on because I knew Chris Rock's assistant, who's different he's not the same assistant now, who you know, but it was a different assistant, and he made a call, and he was the one who got me on, and that's how I got to Grown Ups too. But it was filmed in Massachusetts, so I had to put myself up. So I basically my paycheck just went to my hotel.
Wow.
They don't. I mean, obviously PAs they don't hire. They hire locals, so that's how it happened.
Yeah, exactly. And is that how you got onto top five? Is that how we met?
Yes, similar. Yes, that was basically the same thing the following year. So I owe.
That's why you were a must hire.
Yes, that's why. Yeah, they call it must hire. I don't know how thrilled you were about it, but but I was a
at
must
the time.
hire.
Not so much.
Yeah, did I throw my weight? Yeah, because like I feel like you like anticipated me like as if like I was gonna throw my weight around. Hey, I can't be fired here.
I just remember the first day I met you. I think we were in the production office, and there was like the cases of walkies by your feet, and you were just. It felt like you were like drowning in a sea of walkies.
Yes, yeah.
And I think you may have said to me like, "Oh, I've done this before," and I was like, "Oh, okay, great." And then I walked away, and then I came back, and you were still like.
If I lied to you, I'm surprised. I feel like I just would have been like spacey, but I guess I could have told that lie. Maybe I thought like, or maybe I just got intimidated and I just panicked and I said, "Yeah, I've done this before."
You were intimidated by me?
I think so. Yes. Yeah, man. Come on. You're in a suit and tie on this call, but you can be a little intimidated.
This is unbuttoned though. I tried to be a little bit.
You have that fatherly disappointment look in other people sometimes. So I'm just like, oh, geez, I'm sorry. Another grown man did not give me back his walkie. That's my fault.
How was that? How was that experience for you working on top five? So wait, so Grown Ups, did you work the entire?
Pretty much, yeah, almost the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, and then you came on to top five. How was that experience? How was I as your boss?
As a boss? No, you were great. You were epic. I mean, I learned a lot. I didn't always, obviously I wasn't perfect. Probably.
To be honest, I've always described you as my worst PA.
Well, I'm glad you didn't hold back.
But with love. I love you.
Yeah. Can you give me an example? You must have some things in your head. Why was I so bad?
So, here we go. All right. So I do remember one time. We're on 6th Avenue. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know, but trust me, I'm ready to refute this because I feel like I might be right.
I'm 44 years old, so my memory's kind of going.
Yeah.
But this is what I remember.
Okay.
One day we were doing 6th Avenue, and I don't know if everybody has seen the movie, but a lot of it is Chris Rock and Rosario Dawson, the stars of the film, and it's a lot of walk and talks in New York City. So they're walking around like Union Square or I don't know, whatever else that we walked by. Anyway, a lot of landmark New York City areas, high traffic. One of those spots was 8th Street and 6th Avenue in the West Village of New York. It was a really busy day. Lots of people, lots of traffic, lots of background. And we have these two, stars walking around, so crowd control is also a thing. We also were working with a very expensive car, I remember. And we set up this whole day was built on this wide shot of 6th Avenue, looking down 6th Avenue, car in the foreground. And it was supposed to be at magic hour. So obviously we know magic hour, you only have a certain amount of time in which that we can get the shot. Joseph is the walkie PA, right? So the shot was Chris Rock, Rosario Dawson are in the car. On action, they exit the car, right? So that's sort of like, I guess it was the beginning shot of this sequence of them walking around, right?
Okay. Oh, I know what this is gonna be. Okay.
I thought this is the one you were referring to that I got really mad at you.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
So the first AD comes to me as the key PA and is like, let's make sure that there is a walkie in the car, right? We use the walkie to cue the actors to come out of the car for the shot.
Mhm.
I'm like, great. Go on the walkie to Joseph. I'm like, Joseph, can you put a walkie in the car? And this is how I remember it. I specifically remember saying to you, please make sure there is a hot brick on the walkie. A hot brick meaning that the brick is, good to go. It works. It's a new brick. It just came off the charger, right? I might be wrong, but that's how I remember it. You go, you put this walkie in the car. We do this entire day of like running around 6th Avenue getting all these shots. They built scaffolding on 6th Avenue to get the camera up, to get this beautiful shot of looking downtown, on 6th Avenue with all these people and the great sun's coming down.
You're really setting this up, man, huh?
Well,
Let me just say something. This ending better be like better than the sixth.
Listen, I've had about 9 months of sitting in my apartment. So when it comes time for us to do the shot at Magic Hour, the first AD's like, all right, let's get the actors in, get them in the car, whatever things. He calls for the thing, calls the roll, he calls the action, and then they don't get out of the car. And he calls action again, and he doesn't get out of the car. And he's like, at this point, screaming on the walkie for me to be like, hey, what is going on? Is there a walkie in that car? And I'm like, yeah, Joseph put a walkie in that. I saw him put the walkie in the car. It's in there. Now, I remember us not getting the shot.
Really? Wow.
I don't think that we got the shot.
Wow.
This whole the scaffolding, and I've worked with Adam. He was the first AD on it, Adam Escott. I worked with him for like 7-8 years. I've never seen him this angry before. Like, he was a pretty low-key guy. And he's like, what the F is going on? Whack it. And I'm like, the walkie's there, man. We opened the door, grabbed the walkie, and I pressed it, and the battery was dead. Now, you tell me, do you remember that day?
No, now I do remember. I didn't know that's what the story was, but yes, that sounds like that sounds accurate. Yeah, I have nothing to refute there. Other than, all right, let's just change the battery and let's get the shot, guys. I mean,
by that time the sun is already down and everybody's like packing up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that is true. Okay.
I think it is true, and I also I don't remember it well, but I don't think we needed the shot. That's just my PA opinion from there.
Well, there you go.
The movie was better without the shot. That's what everyone said in the test rooms.
That's the producer in you. Look at that.
Yeah, I was trying to save money, guys.
Yeah, exactly. We had a pre-interview thing where we kind of discussed a little bit about Top 5 and the strip club days.
Yes.
Which was we spent 2 days shooting at Scores in New York, another iconic place.
Has anyone seen Top 5 on this thing, on this Zoom call?
What's that?
Has anyone seen Top 5? I was asking the audience. I know they're muted, but.
No.
All right.
It's a really good movie, and it's worth checking out. It kind of didn't do as well as maybe we had hoped, but it's definitely worth checking out.
Oh, wait, there are people that are.
Yeah, there's some people that said they loved it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Some people know. Okay.
So we spent 2 days at Scores, and I did do a little research. So there was 29 actors, speaking actors, in 2 days at Scores. And just some of the people that were there with us: Chris Rock, Rosario Dawson, JB Smoove, Michael Che, Jay Farrow, Tracy Morgan, Leslie Jones, Whoopi Goldberg, Adam Sandler, and Jerry Seinfeld. Now, for you as like a budding comic, being on that set must have been pretty
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. And I do remember I asked you if I could watch or something like that. I asked if I could watch it, overhear the dialogue and everything with all those guys.
Yeah,
And you graciously said yes. I guess this was before I messed up the shot, so that's why you said yes.
that is
And
that is actually technically correct. You did
yeah,
not.
no, I figured it was. And I got to watch the whole scene. You didn't really make me work during the scene. You just let me watch it. And I remember I said to you, thank you. I can't believe you let me let me do that. And you were like, I thought you were going to fight me if I didn't let you do it.
It did look like you were going to punch me if I had said anything other than yes, you can.
No, you were very cool for that. Most, I think, key like people in your position, I don't know, would have let me do that. So I appreciated that a lot. That was so much fun
Yeah.
watching that up close and watching those guys improvise and go back and forth. I mean, that was one of the highlights ever. I mean, watching Adam Sandler and Jerry Seinfeld and Whoopi Goldberg and Rock go back and forth. I'm sure, they should release the raw footage of that scene.
I know there was a lot of improvising going on.
Yeah, it was amazing. So that was incredible. I mean, that's like a really rare thing. He really should go back and look at that because it's cool. So yeah, I still am happy about that. I still thank you for that to this day.
Yeah, man. Listen, I could tell in your face that you were super into it.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I've tried to do, you don't always get to. We had enough people. That was it was kind of a big budget movie. I had enough people to cover things, you know. But if anybody that shows an interest in something, like if there's a PA that is interested in camera, like I try to make it my point of like if there's an opportunity to do something in camera or help them out, that's the guy I will go to,
No, it's very nice.
And just in talking to you and knowing that, I think you might have been sneaking off to do sets, right, while we were shooting.
No, I never. No, I couldn't have done that. But I maybe done it after we wrapped or something like that. But I don't think really you had much time because we would go till typically 7, 8 o'clock, maybe sometimes later at night, but never during.
Okay, maybe on days off, because I remember going to see you do stand up while we were.
No,
maybe I missed. Maybe it was just after.
But I don't think I did do it during it. But like I said, that's really nice of you that you would do that to let people who were interested see things up close, because that's what it's about. I mean, it's an entry level job, so getting to like learn while you're there is nice, not just being like thrown into a corner for 12 hours a day. Even though that's some of the job, I know, but like getting to do that was a huge highlight. So and you see, I never forgot it.
I know you keep mentioning it every time we talk.
I know. What's the one nice thing you did?
Yes. And I like to highlight the fact that was the one nice thing.
No, you did many nice things. You only got mad at me really once or 3 times, but
yeah. So okay, so you work on Top 5, right? And what's your next step? Like, what's the?
I then kept being a PA on Louis, which I don't know if that's a good credit to mention anymore.
It was a great show. It was, was definitely it was definitely.
This
talk about laid. I forgot that you worked on that.
Yeah, no, it was amazing the way he did that show for sure.
It was incredible.
It was very well done. But yes, so I would additional PA on that. I would do commercials PA. I would photo shoot PA. I did, I would do a lot of odd jobs too. I was walking dogs. I was doing all types of things to make money.
There was one day you additionaled on Louis, and it was before the call time, and I was walking to the production office, and in the opposite direction, we were on Houston Street.
Yeah.
By the Angelica.
Yeah.
Because the office was near there. And I was walking to the production office, and you were walking the other way, walking dogs. And I was like, the call time is like in 2 hours.
It must have been a night shoot.
Yeah, it was. We were doing like
I remember that. I remember us shooting in Red Hook, Brooklyn, and like it was supposed to be like raining. They brought the fake rain.
The hurricane.
That was fun.
Yeah, the hurricane episode.
Yeah, the hurricane episode. Yeah, that was fun shooting in Red Hook. They shut all the power off like during the scene. It was pretty wild. That was fun. So yes, that I was doing that for a while doing stand up and trying to find my way doing stand up, and I mean it was really just anything I could do. I worked at electronics store for almost a year. I mean, it was like it was kind of any odd job I could get, because PA work I wasn't getting like consistently enough. Maybe I could have, looking back at it, but like, I guess I didn't always want to do it all the time because it stopped me from doing stand up at times for night or things like that. So I needed to do other odd jobs during the day.
Yeah. So then what's the next big step for you after you're doing all these odd jobs?
I'm trying to think. I guess the next thing that I did that was kind of like a cool thing that kind of helped me break in more into writing and stuff was that I was doing my podcast, and I had Neil Brennan on my podcast, who is the co-creator of the Chappelle Show, and he's a big comedian and writer, director. And I had him on the podcast, and then out of the blue one day, he was shooting these like shorts for the Jordan brand with Blake Griffin and Chris Paul, and they were going to be like these sketches. They're like commercials, but kind of sketches. And he needed some ideas and extra ideas. And I guess, he knew my basketball background, and I was a comic. And he just happened to reach out to me. I don't even remember like why he reached out to me. And I sent him back some ideas he liked. And then I eventually like went out and like wrote on set, which meant like I just kind of helped punch up jokes and add any jokes any place I could. And that was like my first time like doing something creative like on a set. Out in LA, so that was a big deal.
Can we go back a little bit? So the podcast, you did that for like 2 years?
No, I probably did it over the course of like, I don't know, 4 years, but I never did it like super consistent. Like the way podcasts are now, like it's not, I mean, I should have approached it maybe back then the way people do it now consistently, but back then they were newer. I didn't really know what I was doing. I never knew you could monetize it. It was very different. So I wouldn't do it consistently, but I did it enough. I did 100 episodes, and I had like, I had a bunch of big names on it. I had Aziz Ansari, I had Gary Shandling,
Janine
Garofalo,
Colin
Quinn, Charlemagne the God. I mean, I had everybody. I had Lisa Ann on. Now we'll see who that gets a reaction from. I wish I could see people's faces.
I didn't want to mention her, but yeah.
I'm so sad we can't see people's faces when I say that. But so I had every different walk of life on. It was from actors, writers, comedians, Paula Patton.
What made you do that? Like, how did you? Because you had some really big names, and I mean, I know that at least Gary Shandling is like a huge influence for you, right? I mean,
yes, yeah, Shandling was huge. I happened to get him off of Twitter. That's how like new Twitter was, that I could actually get a celebrity to do an interview from Twitter.
Wow,
that's the only reason I got him, huh?
That's amazing. Like,
I know. His publicist said he was only going to do 25 minutes, and then he did an hour and 5 minutes. Wow. So that was the, like, I couldn't even believe that was happening. I couldn't believe I was talking to him. That was like so surreal. Yeah. That was like the weirdest thing. The fact that he took the time out to do that. And I actually listened to it today. I hadn't listened to it in a long time. And yeah, it's just really encouraging, answers all my questions, and just like, I mean, it couldn't have been anything better. I mean, it really was. Yeah. Anyone, if you're a fan of writing, should listen to that.
Yeah, for anybody. So it's called The Callback, right?
Yeah.
You can get it pretty much anywhere you can get a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be moving soon, but right now you could definitely listen to it.
Yeah, I've definitely heard a few, man. It was really, like you said, it kind of goes into influences and how their sort of creative processes in a weird way with everyone. Is that accurate to say?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
100%.
And just like a wide variety of people.
Yes.
From all kinds of areas.
Yeah, we had everybody. Yeah. We had everybody. So it was cool. I enjoyed it. So yeah, that was how I knew Neil, and that's how I got that writing opportunity that kind of helped, bring on other things.
Yeah. And then is that Optimum commercial, is that kind of the next kind of step that you take?
Yes, I don't know if anybody saw that, but yeah, there were these commercials called it was called the Unmovers, and it was me and two other comics where we played these like idiot moving men, and we're trying to, it's coming, I don't know if it's coming back, but they're trying to turn it into a TV show. Whether that will happen or not, I don't know. But we've been having meetings about it, so we'll see what happens.
Really good, man.
Yeah, I mean, they did really well. They did a second round of them. We did corporate shows off of them. Like they did really well online. They did well. Optum eventually took them down because they didn't want to keep, paying every year. But they had them on for a while, and those commercials definitely were seen by a lot of people, and everyone seemed to really respond well to them.
And were you just hired as an actor, or did you have some sort of input in the?
I was an actor, and I was also brought on to punch up the scripts. So as well as the other two comics. So we punched up the scripts. They really let us improvise. The director, Christian Charles, he helped develop Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, and he also did Seinfeld's documentary called Comedian, and he had done some movies. Yeah. He was the one who directed it and put us all together. So he was like the visionary behind that. But you know what, I'll tell you, what's kind of cool just for people listening is like, because people like, I was talking to a friend of mine today, and he was like asking me like, what's the way to do this or get this? And I'm like, all these things like that I got were, I would do a bunch of things that were unrelated. And if I didn't do one of them, I like wouldn't have gotten the Unmovers. And that goes for like everything.
Yeah.
So that's what I always encourage people to do, like just to make stuff, take this job, take this, because you never know how it connects. But like, I literally got seen for the Unmovers from doing a different audition that I happened to get because a comedian told me about it, and the director saw me at that audition. So I didn't get the thing that I was there for. I got something else. So and also the way I even found out about the audition was because I did a podcast with a producer and actor named Alan Covert. And I met Alan Covert from being a PA on Grown Ups 2. And so then I get the audition through doing stand-up and also knowing Alan Covert because the guy who was actually running the auditions had directed Grown Ups 2. So there was all these like different things. If I don't do one of them, I don't get, in front of that guy. So that's what like is kind of amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and then with that said, if you look up Joseph on YouTube, you will fall down a rabbit hole because you've also done a lot of shorts, and I'm assuming you did these things along the way, like as we're going. Yeah, I mean, you did a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, you produced one of my shorts. That's I think one of my best shorts to this day. Is we were the first ones to do a parody of Seinfeld's Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. And we did broke comedians in transportation getting water, and Lugo produced it. And like I said, we were like, I look back at a lot of stuff, and I was like, I'm kind of the first to do a lot of things, as YouTube's so much bigger now than it was then. But we did that. It came out really good, and I sent that to the director to show I can act. So that was another part of me getting the Unmovers. If I didn't shoot that, that was another thing. So it's like all these different things that made me no money technically directly, but then eventually led to that. So it's just kind of, I guess, a lesson for anybody, like just to do stuff.
And just to also say that Patrick Reese, who also went to Brooklyn College, shot that short, and Kareem, who I think is on this call somewhere, also worked on that as well. So
yes, Kareem. Yeah, I worked with a lot of people from Brooklyn College that I met there. A lot of people worked on that on Broke Comedians, and I've still worked with people from Brooklyn College. I've worked on various shorts of mine and sketches. So yeah, Brooklyn College was so great. I met so many good people that were very, very good at what they do.
Yeah. So once you get that job, the Optimum commercials and stuff, what's your next step?
Yeah, after that, then I was, I kept in touch with a lot of people from Happy Madison. Alan Covert, by the way, because I mentioned him once already. You guys probably know him from, he was the star of Grandma's Boy. He was, Sandler's friend in The Wedding Singer with the glove. He's been in, he's the guy, he's been in a lot of Adam movies, and he's a big producer. He did my podcast. I kept in touch with him. He was always very nice to me. So I kind of kept that relationship alive with everybody, including Adam, because on Grown Ups 2, we played a lot of basketball together. He loves basketball. And then eventually, like I said, over the course of time, shooting stuff, Optimum, PA, then I eventually got to write on set of The Do-Over on Netflix for Adam Sandler, and also starring David Spade. And that was the time creatively, working for Happy Madison and Adam.
Wow. Where does M16 fall in this chronological?
Nobody's gonna know. Yeah, I shot this crazy sketch called Rapper. It was like a lot of like white rappers were coming up at the time, like more than ever, like Machine Gun Kelly and this guy named Slim Jesus. There were all these like, Mac Miller. There was a lot of guys coming out. So I decided to shoot these like sketches that I wanted. I shot like 4 of them.
Oh, you shot 4 of them. Okay.
Yeah, they're all like, but my goal was to make them, maybe people believe that this was real, that it was a promo for like a real white rapper.
They look real. Like if I didn't know you, I would think that was something that existed in the world.
No, I know they really like came out really well, and so yeah, it was really, they were, and I'm trying to think where we put them out. When do that was like during my Brooklyn College years.
I must, because I remember when we were on Top 5, me and the second AD, because we heard that you were a comic and and we looked you up, and we saw a video, and then we watched one of the M16 videos.
They were done really well.
Yeah.
A fellow Brooklyn College student at the time, Michael Biono, he shot it, and he's an amazing cinematographer and lighting, editing. He can do everything, literally everything. And he shot it, and he had all the equipment. We wouldn't have been able to do it if it wasn't for him. And then I edited it because I took an editing class as well, my screenwriting track, so I didn't have to ever give it to anyone to edit. And we put them out. And yes, on Top 5, there was a security guy. He does like this guy named Movie Mike. Yeah, you guys, if you Google Instagram Movie Mike, he does security for all the top stars in New York. Yeah. And he's a great guy. And he was showing people that sketch on set, which was very nice of him. And he was showing it to like big producers like Tony Hernandez, and showing people that this was like a funny sketch. So people started to like see, I guess, that I had some comedic ability.
That's maybe how Nick found it then, because he was like, he took me in like one day, we were like, it was like whatever, 3 a.m. or something. He's like, yo, come in here.
Yeah.
Check out this thing.
Yeah, no, it was definitely fun to shoot. If anyone watches it, forgive me now if you don't play it around certain people.
It's all in the name of comedy.
Yes, it's all in the name of comedy. But yeah, we definitely went for it on those. Those were pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, they were very good.
Thank you.
Maybe you're not a recording artist, but did you you wrote those raps, right? Like you wrote that.
I did. If you think those were good?
Yeah, I thought it was good.
They weren't bad. They weren't terrible. Rapper, yeah. I mean, by the way,
I would not sign you to a contract, but I laughed.
By the way, if you can believe it, we cut some things out that we thought were going too far.
Too much?
Yeah. So if you can imagine, you can see what's left in. Imagine what we cut out, but it was. Yeah, it was pretty intense. Rapper M16.
I think if anybody in the audience has time tonight, just Google Joseph's name and M16, and you'll.
Yes, yeah. Go to my YouTube channel. You can check those out and have some fun.
Okay, so we left off the Do-Over, right? So that sort of starts your sort of amazing sort of relationship with Adam Sandler and that crew of people, and.
Yes, from the Do-Over. Yes, yeah, the Do-Over really sets a lot of things in motion. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, from there, then then I got to work on the next movie, which was Sandy Wexler and Adam.
Now, what was your position on that? Were you just an actor, or were you also?
No, Sandy Wexler, I acted in it, and I had a scene with Terry Crews and Adam, and then I was also got to be a producer on it, and I was writing jokes on set and a little bit more involved just with the creative process and just constantly, just writing alternate jokes and options for the movie.
And that's been your position on kind of all the things you've done with Adam?
Yeah, I kind of moved up from associate producer to co-producer, and each movie just kept progressing in a different way, just kind of with more responsibility and just a part of whether it's pre-production and editing and all that stuff, and just writing a lot of jokes and like even for like Sandy Wexler, we went and shot we went to NASCAR and did like a promo video where Adam was in character, Sandy Wexler. So like he would fly, he flew me out to Vegas and we wrote, I would write jokes for that. So it was getting to do more opportunities such as that. And, Adam would definitely show me, because he's on top of every part of filmmaking, from the casting to the writing to the editing to the sound mixing. So I would just get to see all of that and still do, and just learn so much, and then just kind of, just contribute, any way I can.
Yeah. And you're there in pre-production as well? Like you were.
Yeah, now more so. Yeah. I mean, like in the beginning, sometimes I was just coming when we started shooting, and then the movie after that, I would be a little bit more in post-production, editing and the test screenings. And now like more so like this past movie that we shot this summer, I was definitely involved more earlier on with casting and everything like that. So yeah, it just kind of keeps progressing, with each film.
Yeah. And are you still, at this point, doing stand-up as well? Are you?
Yes. Yeah, not during the pandemic, but I mean, I've been doing stand-up the whole time. I've been opening for Adam for a while, and Rob Schneider and David Spade, and we do these big theaters and arenas, which is crazy.
That must be amazing, man. Like that's, I remember you talking to me about how Adam was like that was your.
Yes, yeah, no, Adam, is definitely 100% my comedic hero. Him and Gary Shandling were like my main influences, and Adam was the guy I wanted to write for, because he had a website in college called adamsandler.com, and it was before Funny or Die. It was before YouTube was big, and he would put out little videos and sketches and things he was doing at the office. This is pre-Instagram. He kind of had what everyone's doing now before anyone. But back then, the website cost $500,000 a year to run, because that's how hard it was to put videos online back then. So I would always like watch these videos where he was like writing at the office and updating with what people were doing. And I just started to see, I was like, I feel like we have similar sensibilities. I'm like, I have the same sense of humor. I love the way he's always writing on the movies and a part of everything. So I just felt like, oh, this is someone that, I want to write for and work for. And I'm sure that's like, it is kind of surreal, saying that out loud, because then you think the fact that, it came into fruition is pretty wild.
Yeah, it's incredible, man.
Yeah. But I think it also obviously speaks volumes to him that he would let me in and kind of see how I think genuine I was and how much I wanted, to write for him and the company and all the stuff. So, he's just been very encouraging and positive just with me as far as, writing jokes and, just teaching me stuff and, just showing me how it's like a full-on attack when, making a movie.
Yeah. And you're currently working on his latest, right? Which I guess is being shot in halves, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's a basketball movie, so we couldn't shoot the basketball portion this past year. We're going to shoot that hopefully this summer. So we shot the first half, non-basketball scenes, and then we'll shoot the basketball scenes hopefully like in August. But that was the latest movie, which kind of all comes full circle that it's a basketball.
I was about to say, I mean, that's like two of your loves, right? Like that's
Yeah. No, absolutely.
In basketball.
Yeah, it's like a dramedy, and it's like a little more serious, and yeah, Adam plays a scout who discovers a player overseas and then thinks he brings him back to the NBA, hopefully to revive his career a bit. And we use a real NBA player, of course.
Sweet. So how has the shutdown been for you? Have you been? I know that.
Yeah. I don't know. How's it been for you?
Very slow.
I know. So, I mean, luckily for me, it shut down in March. We were prepping this movie, so I had that to keep me busy, thank God. And so that took me from March all the way till November 6th. And then we were in editing for a little bit, so we just finished up that. So I was lucky. I hadn't done stand-up since last February, and then I ended up doing stand-up in Arizona, opening for Rob Schneider at the Tempe Improv. COVID doesn't exist in Arizona, apparently, and it was a little scary, but we did it. So I did stand-up on New Year's Eve, and that was a lot of fun, but it was great.
New Year's Eve?
We did New Year's Eve. It was sold out indoors. It's I don't recommend probably sitting in the crowd. I just had my mask on, went to the green room, went to stage, left. So I was able to stay clear, but it is, people in Arizona are not as worried. So that's obviously at people's caution. I don't know. It definitely gave me some anxiety for sure.
Yeah. I did read though that haven't you done like Zoom?
Yes, I did 2 Zoom shows, but those are like, I mean, it's hard when you don't have the energy of the crowd, and it's Zoom shows. That just is kind of some temporary thing. I did 2 of them. One of them was like fun, but it's hard. You need a response, obviously even this is tough, we don't even have, like a response. You can't really gauge, like, I don't know. You guys can tell me in the chat if I bored you to death yet. And,
well, there's the people still there, so we have at least some people.
They could be sleeping.
True.
Let's see if the chat moves. I haven't seen it move. It would be I would love it so much if it was just me and you talking to each other this whole time and no one is
here. It feels like it a little bit. The one thing I wanted to talk to you before, I want to ask some of the questions that are in the email that we got from people.
Yeah, does anybody, if there's any questions, like I'm sure, oh, look, someone put ZZ.
Oh boy. All right. Brooklyn College. Love it. The comedy album.
Yes.
How did you are people even doing comedy albums anymore? Like where?
No, I mean, people do stand-up comedy albums. This was like a little bit different. It was like sketches and songs. It was like an old school comedy album.
Weird.
And yeah, that was just like something a little bit different just to put out instead of doing stand-up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you were with another person. Like what was you want to kind of tell everybody kind of what it was? And
yes, I worked with another comic, Christina Hutchinson. She has a popular podcast called Guys We Fucked. I don't know if anyone's heard of that podcast. Sorry if you can't curse on here, but it's a popular podcast. And she's a comedian, and we did the album together, and we did like sketches and songs. She can actually sing. I can't. And it was just something different and unique to put out. Again, everyone puts out stand-up albums. So that was kind of just the birth behind that. It was just kind of fun to write sketches and do it all through sound design. That's the way Adam Sandler's comedy albums used to be. They would do like, sketches, and it would be all through sound design.
Yeah.
And just kind of visualize it in your head. So I think Cheech and Chong did stuff like that. Yeah. Adam, of course, did it. So it's an old school kind of comedy album.
Yeah.
Yes. Someone loves that pod. Yeah. So people have heard of that.
So one of the questions, as I'm scrolling through the email, that I think maybe we haven't talked about is, what has influenced your passion for film?
What is
influenced? Are there any like films that made you want to go to film school? Like what was that thing that, you were playing basketball, right? You got a scholarship to go to school in Florida. But what was it that made you want to go to film school? Like films that
I
maybe.
mean, I was heavily influenced. I think in high school, I started writing screenplays, but it was mainly because I got Scary Movie 1 on DVD. I love that movie. And
we're gonna keep track of how many of these movies I haven't seen. So that's one.
you haven't seen Scary Movie 1?
I've never seen it.
Wow. I mean, jeez.
I've always been this old, Joseph.
I don't know if that's old, man. I feel like that's just maybe not fun.
Yeah, well, that too.
Yeah, you haven't seen Scary Movie 1, but I'm assuming you've seen like Blue Velvet.
Yes.
That's I mean,
That's
what
the
is
difference
wrong?
between Joe and I.
See, you know what I will say in Brooklyn College, and I'm sure I was kind of a dick for this, but like in class when they would show us certain movies, I'd be like, all right, this was okay. Let's all take it easy. I mean, Blue Velvet.
It's like what, like Citizen Kane or something. You're like, oh,
I was like, can we show a comedy for once? We don't have to go just because someone loses their balloon in the air and the shot is perfect. It's like doesn't make it a great film, The Bicycle Thief, let's show some fun, So I was an asshole, I know. But
well, I too am an asshole. So we're on different sides.
No, I know, but by the way, I want to stress this. I'm not saying just because I'm on the call. I learned so much at Brooklyn College, and I'm thankful that they showed me all those films because some of them I never would have seen. Yeah. So it was good. I was exposed to things like Blue Velvet and movies like that. Rosemary's Baby, I could have done without. That's overrated.
What? Oh my God, man.
Come on.
I might just hang up on the Zoom.
What? I mean, come on. But yeah. But besides that, so Scary Movie 1, my point was in saying this was, I like that someone wrote Blue Velvet was just okay. Joseph has a point. I love this. Yeah, I'll give you another movie that I hated. Wait, real quick.
Give me movies that you hate. Go ahead.
Road Warrior. Oh my God.
You hate Road Warrior?
I was like, why am I couldn't even believe I was watching that. I could not watch that. Anyway, my point is Scary Movie 1, which is a masterpiece, and I'll take that over Road Warrior and Rosemary's Baby, was that it came with a screenplay, which I was so shocked at, and this was the first time I knew movies were written. And
really?
And so I didn't know it was written, so I was so impressed with it. And then I saw the Wayans brothers wrote it. And then I started looking at the back of movies. And that's what started to influence me to write movies, that I saw the people that were in them were actually writing them. So when I saw Adam was actually writing the movies, it changed the game for me because I was just like, oh, maybe I could do this. It wasn't so like, when you think of like stars in movies, you don't think about it when you're a kid as them being written on a piece of paper. So that was a big influence for me. And then I started following Sandler, the Wayans brothers, later on Gary Shandling, and I started getting so involved in writing. That's what influenced me to want to do films. But also at Brooklyn College, going to like film history and seeing all the different kind of movies, it made me see how like, all right, there's these very serious movies, but of course I'm going to do the comedies and, maybe I can mock some of these. And but I also like some of them. But like I think it also did like kind of light a fire in me to kind of like, oh, I want to do movies.
Can you name like one of those movies that you saw that you were like, surprised that you liked? And
let me think. I mean, look, I saw Citizen Kane in high school. So let me just think of movies that I saw. Like what did we see in film theory? Man, they showed a lot. You know what I liked? I liked that they showed a lot of the old movies, like the black and white movies and stuff like that. I don't remember all the names of them, but like even when we, what was? But I'm trying to think
next question. Before we get into
I'm trying to think of other films. What else would they have shown? I'm trying to think. They showed A Silence of the Lambs. I had never seen that before.
Did you like Breathless? I'm sure they showed you Breathless.
I don't think so.
You fall asleep during that one.
I fell asleep during Road Warrior and I fell asleep during Doctor Strangelove.
Wait, what? Come on, man. But you've seen Doctor Strangelove.
I saw it in full, but I did fall asleep the first time. I wish there was more movies I could think of. Blue Velvet, I understood why it was good, like the filmmaking of it. So I'll be honest, I can't remember something that sticks out like vividly, but I'm happy. Like I said, I learned a lot. But I do want them to show Scary Movie 1.
Okay. You're gonna make me watch this movie, aren't you? Well, I mean, I know we're running a little bit. We have some time, right, Lisa? Is that to? Yeah. So, what advice would you give to? I know there's some students maybe out there listening. Would you give? Because the one thing, when I brought you up to the board, the one thing that I admire about you, man, is your tenacity. And you just, like, for me, like, I've always struggled with like putting my work out there, or it's not good enough, or it's not this, and you just seem to just crank it out, with like, you're just fearless. You just, I'm gonna go do this thing, and it's a completely different thing. Like, one time I would see something, you'd be like, oh, hey, check out this podcast. I'd be like, hey, what is this? Oh, check out this comedy album I just did. Like,
right.
It's amazing to me, like, how you were able to just do all these things and just,
I mean, it's probably because I didn't like Road Warrior.
Probably.
So I apparently had no respect for.
You had enough time on your hands because you didn't watch these movies. You were creating.
No, but
what advice would you give, like, students now, like, now that you've been in the business for a while? And
I would just say to honestly, I mean, make stuff. If you whatever you like to do. I mean, unless you want to go just the production route, I would just say to be always making stuff and putting it out and creating constantly, writing scripts, and because you don't know where anything is going to go. Shoot shorts, write shorts. I was always constantly making stuff throughout and working on features and doing stuff, and I didn't know where it was going to lead exactly. So I guess that would be like my biggest advice. I mean, everyone has their own path, so it's hard to always like say do this or do that, but I would just suggest, if you're writing, write. If you're, a lot of people say if they like, they'll say they're a writer, but then you ask them what script they have and they might not have it. So if you're a writer, you should, always be writing scripts, showing it to people, organizing things, bringing it to friends, bringing it to people. I feel like always there's probably some connection somewhere along the line. Someone knows someone, and there's always a way to get the ball rolling in some way. I mean, I was an intern on a show called The Shield. I don't know if anyone remembers that show.
FX show? The Shield?
What is that?
FX?
Yes, on FX.
Yeah.
With Michael Chiklis. I was like an intern on that. And I remember I interned on the summer, but they stayed filming until like the fall. And then I wanted to go out for the rest of the season. So I left Brooklyn College for almost a month to go intern. So I had to get permission from all the professors, and every professor, let me go. But I kind of came in, I had to like, stick with the curriculum, do all this stuff. So I just encourage anyone, if anyone like has anything they're really like wanting to go after, getting the experience on set, even if you're still in school, just always go after it. Because like you said, tenacity, I think most people wouldn't have thought I would even be allowed to leave for that long and keep up with the work. But all the professors understood kind of that, that they did understand that it was an opportunity. It was meaningful. I even remember I was taking like, how you have to take like the core classes at Brooklyn College?
Yes.
So I was taking like a Greek philosophy, I guess, or I don't know. We were like learning the Iliad.
Whatever it's called, yeah.
Yeah, we were learning like the Iliad, and we had this very strict, super Greek teacher. Like, he was really Greek. We weren't doing the translation. He was like super tough. And I thought he was going to be the one guy that was going to be like, are you kidding me? Like, do what? Like, he's not even in the film department. And I still remember he looked at me and he says, I don't like it, but you should go do this, Yeah. And that's why I love, that's like, honestly, that sticks out to me to this day. And that's why I love Brooklyn College, even outside of the film program, because all the professors were very understanding and really wanted, to see everyone, succeed. So even though like obviously I make jokes about watching old films or films that, I didn't want to write or like, obviously it was all a good experience and made me more well-rounded. And obviously I can't make fun of Blue Velvet if I don't see it. So it's important, to see things like that. So, but they were all very, I had a really good teachers like back who taught, I don't know if he's still at Brooklyn College, but he was teaching screenwriting and stuff like that. And we would read my scripts out, not out loud, but we'd read the scripts and people would give feedback. So that all helped me and, made me develop a thicker skin because as you know, Lugo and anybody who watches my comedy or sketches, we'd have 20 people in the class, 14 or 15 people might like it. And there was probably 5 or 6 that hated it and were, offended. And, that feedback would like help and it would be, it would, develop a certain type of skin and also see which things really didn't work. And, not everything is going to be funny. Not everything is going to land. And you can only do that and get better at that, and putting yourself out there. So I would say, also I encourage people to constantly just put themselves out there, put out videos, even perfect, just put it out, see what happens.
Yeah. There's one other question from this email that I kind of wanted to, is there any I know this is kind of a general thing, you probably already answered it, but any like pitfalls that you could maybe, for things where people look out for, like when they're trying to get a career in film?
Any pitfalls? Like you mean just stuff not to do?
Yeah, I mean, like for me, I've always tell people to sort of, try to do a lot of different positions, right? And it's always in terms of production, right? Like, don't get pigeonholed into, doing one thing, try to, because, once you get on sets, obviously there are union rules once you get on bigger things, and if you're doing one thing, you're going to be doing that one thing, and if that's not your goal in life, then you get sort of pigeonholed.
Right.
But I mean, for you, I mean, you've done a little bit more of the creative side than I have.
Right.
Is there any things to look out for or that you could advise people?
I'm trying to think of like what it's hard for me to think about, I guess, what not to do, but I would just say be like, if you're breaking into anything or you're doing it, be a little strategic sometimes. Like obviously if you need to work, but like for instance, I wasn't trying to be a PA on like, let's say a Will Smith movie and not dissing Will Smith, but like Will Smith movie, there was nothing like creatively I would necessarily want to do on a Will Smith movie. It's not someone.
You're going to be like 10 blocks away from the scene, you're not going to see anything. You're going to be locking up the street or like,
Right, exactly. And I can't write comedy for Will Smith. He's not a comedian per se in that way. So like, that goes for like, I'm not going to try to PA on a Brad Pitt movie. So I tried to obviously PA. I got very lucky and grateful to PA on my Comedic Heroes movie. So, but that's what the goal I was trying to do, work on comedies and be around it. So I would just suggest people being, strategic a little bit and just kind of go after, what they're looking to do. But even if you don't know exactly what you want to do, that's okay too. And, just get on a set and work. But I don't know of any, like, I guess, pitfalls I could think of exactly, like of what, not to do. Maybe just don't be an asshole. I don't know.
That is a really good one.
Chris Rock said that. Chris Rock said that. Don't be an asshole. He goes, but that, and don't knock Rosemary's Baby and Road Warrior. That's what I was also telling.
Not in front of me anyway. No, I mean, yeah. And the other thing I would add to that is just, in production, like showing up not only on time, but early. For me, like I was not that great of a PA, but I always just showed up early and just kind of did whatever it was told of me.
Yeah.
And I was just pleasant to work with.
Yeah.
Like those kind of things go a long way. Like I said before, I was joking a little bit saying that you were the worst PA. You were not the worst PA. No, you weren't the worst.
I wasn't the worst.
But you were fun to work with. And whatever I asked you to do, you did it to the best of your ability. You know? No, truly, no, I'm being very honest. Like I know you're laughing at it, but you did, you know. And that goes a long way. Like, you know, you don't have to be the most talented. You don't have to be the, you know, you can just be pleasant to work with and show up on time and still get work.
So I'm not talented. I'm just pleasant to work with. That's what my resume should say.
That should be at the top, I feel like.
Hey, that's not a bad thing. What is, I think, is Judith, do you want us to wrap up?
I mean,
I think everybody wants us to wrap up.
no.
Guys, does everyone on this call who wants us to just go for the 24 hours straight on the Zoom call? We'll go do a marathon and we just all stay on. Look, I see people shaking their heads. Yeah. Let's all break down different movies. Listen, I'm sure Luca, right? I'm trying to think of those because someone I saw, okay, someone wrote something weird on the chat.
Naked, the movie Naked.
Oh, movie Naked.
Naked? You
think that's what he was talking about? Oh, he's like I only Zoom marathon with people who like Blue Velvet. Oh, that's so, you know, by the way, I'll tell you guys this. I own the DVD Blue Velvet and I just gave it to my girlfriend to watch because she made me watch Midsummer. I don't know who saw Midsummer, but let me tell you something. Again, it's an amazing movie. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not. But all jokes aside, the reason I really don't go for those movies is because I can't take horror. I can't take that dark stuff. So Midsummer freaked me the hell out. I can see it's a well-done movie.
Mission accomplished. I was freaked out.
No, you're right. Mission accomplished. I mean, I'm going, you know, scared to go, you know, to see anybody with a beard that looks Swedish now. I mean, I don't know. It scared the hell out of me. But I gave her Blue Velvet and I said, you might like this. If you like Midsummer, you're going to like this.
Can I ask you a question? Why did you have that DVD?
That's a good question. I don't know why I had it. You know why? Because, I had to do a report on it for Brooklyn College and I needed to watch it more than once. So I just bought it. Or I stole it possibly. I don't know. But
did you steal my copy of Blue Velvet?
I could have. Maybe someone gave it to me. I don't know, but I did a report on it. I forgot. I did a whole report. So I could tell you, I guess, a lot about it. The only thing I really remember from it is Dennis Hopper with the whole oxygen mask on his face and he's breathing heavy and there's hookers. I mean,
it seems like you really like this movie and you're just...
It makes my sketches look very tame and PG. So I wish I could remember more movies that we watched because we did watch a lot of good ones and definitely like taught me a lot, but I can't remember all the ones we saw. Only thing I can remember are the ones I said, but had a lot of good teachers there though. I wonder if some of the same professors are still there that I had.
Who did you have?
I had John Auerbach.
Judith, are any of these people there? Oh.
I had Rumpowski.
So no.
I don't know. I had a really good editing teacher. I think she's still there. I'm blanking on her name, but she taught me. I took her editing class and learned a lot. We edited scenes from Monk. Which
that must be Sarah Chrisman.
Yes.
I was going to drop this stuff in the chat, but Rumpolsky, she actually left. She's now the director of the David Lynch MFA program, so she's doing
Look at that.
other interesting things. And I had her also as a screenwriting teacher. She's amazing.
Yes, she was super nice, and she actually let me leave for a week for not even film related. I was going to play street basketball in Chile. And she let me go for a week. And now that I think about it, did I attend Brooklyn College or did I just leave?
I was about to say, like, how did you get your degree?
I know. I should check to see if I got it. But I did. But but Brooklyn College, because I saw some questions in there about it, like what it did for my career. But like I think it really having people all like-minded and being around it every day and having the teachers be very passionate about it and talking about it, and then getting to go to the editing lab, renting stuff out of the equipment room, meeting other students who wanted to do it, I think that's like what shaped me because it kind of got my work ethic in place. And it probably helped me doing reports on films that weren't my thing and wasn't, my stuff that I wanted to always do, and learning about, certainly old movies or certain things, that I didn't necessarily wasn't, I was so into comedy that, all I wanted to do was comedy every minute of the day. So it was good that it brought me out of my comfort zone. I was the only one in my film production class probably that did a Super 8 film. And my goal was to just make it, as offensive and comedic as possible. Everyone else did it very seriously, which I applauded them. I, of course, was pushing the envelope and trying to make it as crazy as possible. And you know what? I remember the professor being very receptive to it. I thought it wasn't going to go well, but she kind of accepted me doing my thing. So it made me sort of more open then to other films that were outside of, my genre. So I do really appreciate, even though I make jokes, that I fell asleep during a couple of them.
I'm pretty sure you fell asleep during a couple of lockups that I put you on.
Oh my God, of course I did. I probably went to sleep on purpose. I mean, who wants to do that? I mean, just put me in a lockup for 4 hours and then all of a sudden call me on the walkie. How am I supposed to be up for that? You guys ask a lot.
Well, listen, man, thanks for doing this.
I have 1 more hour left in me.
Oh, you do? You are just listen, it's almost past my bedtime. So but are you working on anything? I know you're working on the Sandler movie, but I mean, are you writing anything? Is there anything on the horizon?
I'm doing right now. I don't have anything like a job right now. I think the next time we shoot is going to be for the basketball movie is July. So there could be something in between. So for now, I'm just working on my own scripts, still writing stand-up, trying to keep sharp with everything, trying to sell some TV shows, and probably we are trying to make The Unmovers into a TV show. So there's a bunch of things in development. What will happen between, in the next 3 or 4 months, I don't know, but hoping to obviously sell some shows and get some scripts off the ground. I really want to direct a movie that I wrote, so I'm trying to get that going.
Great, man. Well,
so
if you ever have anything you want to come and show at the college,
I know. I hope when things open back up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad that we can't obviously we would have done this in person if things were normal.
Yeah.
And
we'll get there. We're getting there.
Yeah. And what year? I see Michael on here. What year were you? What year did you graduate? Are you allowed to talk? Are they not? They muted you?
I can unmute you, Michael.
I think this is opening up.
Yeah, I can allow everyone to unmute themselves.
Yeah, if anyone has anything I didn't mention,
yeah.
Sorry.
I got nothing left, so you guys can unmute.
Oh, Michael, you said 07, 09. Around there.
Can't unmute? I bet you.
She said Lisa said she unmuted you.
Yeah, I think I graduated in 09, but it's kind of blurry. But I think it was 09. Because I was working in the equipment room as a college assistant back then, and it kind of blurred the line as to I don't remember if I was still taking a class or two before I graduated.
Didn't I see you not that long ago before I did a show in Brooklyn?
Yeah, at the King's Theater, you stopped by, and we walked around and we,
Yes.
talked for a little while.
I know that theater out in Brooklyn is beautiful. King's Theater. I would never know that theater was there, and it was not far from Brooklyn College, and that's why I stopped by. I hadn't been on the campus. I really miss the campus and miss being there. It's amazing. Now that stuff is.
When was the last time you were there?
That was the time I was there. So that was.
Okay.
I don't know what year.
I actually think I remember. It was when Bernie was there. He came to campus and he was doing that like walkthrough. Who was it with that? They were doing something with Bernie on campus, and Joe happened to come that very same day.
Bernie who?
Bernie Sanders.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They were on the East Quad, and you just showed up. You were walking in there, and
Oh yeah, because I was
Joe
writing.
Vecsey, what are you doing here?
I think I was writing jokes for Bernie Sanders. No, but yes, no, I missed the college very well. I have nothing but amazing things to say about Brooklyn College, so I really do appreciate them a lot. Since everyone's unmuted, does anyone have any questions? He was with Mark Ruffalo, I think. Oh, really? The actor?
Yeah, I've seen a beautiful photo of the two of them, and I never knew how and why that photo happened. So thanks, Michael. Now I know.
Oh, that's interesting. Wait, did Mark Ruffalo, did he go to Brooklyn College?
No, I think it was, whatever, they were just doing a project together. Judith, do you know anything more about that?
What I think it was is I think Bernie used Brooklyn College to announce that he was running. I think that was what happened, if I'm not mistaken.
I think
right?
you're right, Judith.
Yeah, and so they were coordinating that kind of big rally. It was a big rally.
It was a beautiful photo op. I mean, our campus is obviously great for that. Joseph, I'll plug it. Maybe you should film another movie on Brooklyn College's campus. If you ever need some scout work done, I can point out some great locations. And I am open to that. Yeah.
I would love to do that. I mean, I saw that we were talking last week about Gemini Man being shot there for the last scene, which took me, I was in a theater in LA, I think, and I was like watching it and I was like, whoa, I couldn't believe it. So yeah, I would love to, that would be fun. Yeah, if we're ever shooting something in New York and there's like something that calls for that, I will definitely be the first to bring it up, and also request that Lugo's not on the crew.
I thought you were going to say put him on walkies, Joseph.
No.
Oh, I know, you're right. I should do
on.
that. I should really get Lugo there under false pretenses and then just give him the walkies. And then I'm going to tell him, I said, if there's one mess up with that, if it's not on somewhere, oh God help me, I will go straight to the studio and point you out. Oh, someone said Joseph's movie would be better than Gemini Man. You know, it's funny. Gemini Man, I know people like, you know what's weird though? I'm curious people's thoughts. Like, I was entertained by that movie, but is that like, it's not even my kind of movie I would watch, but is that like labeled not a good movie?
I haven't seen it.
Well, someone wrote it. I thought, with anyone wants to jump
Anybody
in.
want to chime in?
Joseph's movie better. Story was trash. Okay, just okay.
It was fine. I didn't think it was so bad. Yikes.
Well, you know what it was?
We
I
enjoyed
also watched it with the with those chairs that move. Had people sat in those chairs?
Oh yeah.
I had water sprayed on me. It was kind of a weird thing. It was a little strange, but I had a good time. But it's a 1980s made for TV movie. That's funny. I mean, well, so it's not going to be shown at Brooklyn College, I guess, in film theory. Yeah.
I just got a message actually to me, and Lugo, I think that you mentioned it the last time we did one of these conversations. Someone said, they hope that they can stay in touch with everyone. And I know that the Brooklyn College Film Alumni Group has a Facebook page, right? So that might be a good way to stay in the community. Would you suggest that?
Yes, I think, Judith, is it possible, can we put that in the chat so that everybody can?
I'll try to get it now. Hang on.
And we can also email it out afterwards.
Yes, and there's a email there if anybody wants to sort of get in contact with us, if they want to get involved in any way, or just, be a part of the association. And there it is.
And anybody who hasn't seen UB Halloween, check it out on Netflix. And also
very funny. I saw it.
Yes, and also check out Adam Sandler's 100% Fresh stand-up special. Did you see that, Lugo?
I did not.
You have to see that.
Oh boy.
Unlike any other stand-up special you'll ever see.
Really?
Unlike anything you'll ever see.
Am I going to see you though? That's?
You see me walking in the background. I was opening on tour, but it's his special. It's not mine.
I want to see you, buddy.
Well, it's not my special. It is Adam's, but I was a producer on it. We toured all over the country doing so many different cities and different shows, and it kind of incorporates all of that. And it is it's the best stand-up special ever.
Where is it streaming? Where is it? It's on
Netflix.
Netflix. Okay.
Sweet. Definitely check it out. We're approaching 7. I don't want to give you the guys the hook. I'm having so much fun, but it is close to 7. So if I can plug a few more things, final questions, get them out. But definitely Bonding on Netflix was another thing I know we want to check out that Lugo worked on. Top 5, that's the movie you guys worked on together. So I'm going to watch that. I'll be looking out for the basketball movie. I'll be watching that comedy special. I know someone in the chat also has a comedy podcast, Latinos Out Loud, AKA LOL. I'll be checking that out. I'm super excited because I love watching Netflix and listening to podcasts. So I'm really excited for my upcoming days. I'm skipping Blue Velvet, but looking forward to everything else.
What about Road Warrior?
No, I'm not watching that. I was a film major for like 2 months, and I couldn't even get through those movies. I was like, "This is the major for me."
Can we get Happy Gilmore and Scary Movie 1 on the curriculum? That's all.
That's on Judith. So Judith, can you confirm that you are able to make that happen?
I'll work on it.
Okay.
By the way, do you remember a teacher? I don't know if I'm mentioning her name right, but something Weiss.
Yeah, Liz Weiss.
Liz Weiss.
Yeah, she retired about 6 years ago.
I loved her. She was great.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed her class. She made a lot of those because she did a lot of like older movies, right, and old stuff. But I really enjoyed. She really had such a passion and knowledge for that stuff, and I definitely got into a lot of older things, and I kept like reports and things and just stuff and books from that class. So that was another.
Remember what you had with her? Like, because I remember I took American film comedy with her. That was the class that she taught.
I took 2 of her classes. One I thought was like film history or something, or film.
Like a general.
I can't remember the name, but I took like 2 classes with her because she was so good. I didn't have a lot of the production teachers, so I had like a lot of the same ones over, like Rumpowski, Arbach, Sarah Chrisman, and I only maybe had like 5 or 6 professors total in the film program. I don't know how that's possible, but maybe
it was the same thing with me too, but there weren't that many of them, and I think there was a few more when you were there than I was there, because it was literally like one cinematography teacher, one directing, one editor.
Right. Yeah. I took a film production class too, like the entry one. And I can't remember. I wish I could remember names, but she was really good as well. But yeah, I can't remember. Hirsch was the head, right? I think when I was there.
Oh, really?
Am I saying the right name? No, I'm not saying
Yeah, Foster Hirsch.
No, who was it? Well, Gersh.
Gerskis.
Sorry, Hirsch.
Hirsch is a film studies professor, so he's there, so that's correct.
Okay, I never had. I don't think I had it, but okay. But Gersh was the head when I was there.
Gerskis, although I really want to laugh.
Sorry.
I love the combo between Gerskis and Hirsch. We'll call him Gersh. We'll end of the day. Gerskis, yeah, Dan Gerskis. He was great.
Yes, he was great. Yes, anyone who tolerated me back then was amazing.
Oh man.
I mean, Lugo, I'm making crazy rap videos on camera, craziness.
I know.
So that's the other thing I definitely want to watch is your YouTube video. Remind me, people and comedians, broke comedians drinking water on the subway.
Yes, everything's on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Lugo, what else did you see before you go though?
I saw a couple of promos for the comedy album.
Yeah.
I saw the one you did about your father,
right?
Which I think we didn't even touch upon that, but
yes. Well, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, that's not it matters, but it's not really pertains to this. So
yes, but that was also shot by Patrick, right?
Yes, Patrick shot that. Patrick shot a bunch of the promos for me. Patrick Reese is the one who also shot Broke Comedians, at Lugo's friend, and he's a great DP.
Who also went to Brooklyn College.
Oh, I didn't even know. Wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, and by the way, guys, I had a good, Romany Malco came to Brooklyn College to do the podcast once. Do you guys all know him? He was the bald black dude and 40-year-old virgin. He was also
Yeah.
so everyone never knows him by name, but they all know him in movies.
Like you see his face.
But that's also a testament that he came to Brooklyn College to do in the pouring rain, showed up on time to do my podcast and talk to me for 2 hours and let me ask him all these questions about being an actor and all those things. And I remember he really loved the campus too, but he showed up. I didn't do many podcasts actually at the college, but he was there for that one.
Wow.
So maybe one day we'll have to do a live podcast at and get a fun guest.
Yeah.
And Lugo, you could come do it with me.
I could do walkies. Okay.
Yeah. You could do this. You could do the sound check, and then I'll yell at you for it. Lugo, thank you for doing this, and Judith and Lisa for all setting this up and everything. I really appreciate it. It was nice getting to know you guys.
Yeah.
And Lugo's the man. Thank you, Lugo. I appreciate it, and congrats to you. Everything you've done, Lugo. You've been killing it. So.
Well, thanks so much to you both. I mean, I know we're really